Dear student friends, today we'll discuss about instrumentation of flame emission spectroscopy. Instrumentation of flame emission spectroscopy we'll discuss in terms of spectrophotometer. It has basic components. First one, burners, total consumption burner, premix or laminar flow burner, mirror, monochromators. Different monochromators are used, and monochromators consist of entrance slit to exit slit, detector, amplifier and readout system. The schematic diagram of flame emission spectrophotometer shows different components. At the left hand side, mirror, that mirror is concave mirror, then atomizer, that is also called as burner. After burner there is a entrance slit, then prism is there, that is a monochromator. Then after that there is a exit slit, then immediate radiation falls on the photodetector, it is a phototube. Then that signal is given to the amplifier, and finally amplified signal is given to the readout system. So this is nothing but the schematic diagram of flame emission spectrophotometer, and it shows all components present in the spectrophotometer. Burners is a very important component in the flame emission spectrophotometer. There are different types of burners are there. These are also called as atomizers, and in market there are different types of burners are available. It starts from Bunsen burner, Lundergraf burner, Maker burner, total consumption burner, premix or laminar flow burner. The first burner we'll discuss here, that is total consumption burner, and second one is premix or laminar flow burner. These are basically used in flame emission spectrophotometer. The picture of total consumption burner clearly shows different components of this burner. There is a tip of burner, then oxidant and fuel separately passing through the tip of the burner, then sample solution is kept in the beaker or sample container, and in total consumption burner, fuel, oxidant and sample solution reaches to the burner head through capillary. There is a individual capillary is there. When fuel and oxidant reaches to the tip of the burner with a high pressure, it creates vacuum at the tip of the burner that pulls the sample solution and all together mix and reaches to the flame. Here all sample solution is consumed by the burner, so the name of burner is total consumption burner, and the flame temperature is totally decided by the fuel and oxidant. It is also depend on the ratio of fuel and oxidant and what type of element we are going to detect or measure. That also matters regarding selection of fuel and oxidant. This burner has some advantages. The first one is atomization efficiency is 100%, no flashback of the flame. It has some disadvantages. It gives noisy and turbulent flame, means flame has noise. We'll get some somewhat bigger noise in the flame. Then loss of sample due to incomplete evaporation. Sometimes there is a loss of sample is there due to incomplete evaporation. Second important burner is premix or laminar flow burner. In the picture of premix burner or laminar flow burner, we observe all the components, fuel, oxidant, entries there, sample solution, mixing buffels, and burner head, and at the right hand side in downward direction there is a drain out. This burner is also called as long path burner because fuel, oxidant and sample solution initially thoroughly mixed in the burner before reaching to the burner head, and that role is done by mixing buffels. The sample, fuel and sample solution as well as oxidant thoroughly mixed, and whatever the formation of mist is there, that reaches to the burner head, and there is a formation of uniform flame. That is the beauty of this burner, but it has some disadvantages, and the main disadvantage is that there is a heavy loss of sample solution is observed. Whatever the bigger drops are there, that are totally drained out. Near about 95% sample is lost during this analysis. But this burner has good atomization efficiency. Whatever the flame we are getting here, this is non-turbulent, and we will get the good results by using this premix or laminar flow burner. Next important component is mirror. In the schematic diagram we observed that the first component in the left hand side is the mirror, and it is placed behind the flame. It collects all the radiations emitted by the flame, because flame emits radiations in all the directions, that all the radiations are collected by the mirror, and the focal point of the mirror is adjusted to the aperture of the entrance slit, and all the radiations are collected here. And generally concave mirror is used for that purpose. It creates inverted image of the flame of equal size at the location of the flame, and the main function of this mirror is to collect all the radiations emitted by the flame for the good measurement. Next component is monochromator. The main function of monochromator is to separate specific wavelength radiations to be measured, and it depends on the element present in the sample solution. That element shows different wavelength radiations. If sodium is there, sodium will shows yellow colored light radiations. If lithium is there, lithium shows blood red colored radiations. It has different wavelength. So whatever the specific wavelength of radiations is there, so that is separated by using this monochromator. And monochromator is nothing but the combination of entrance slit to exit slit. Different components are there. There are two types of monochromators used in flame emission spectrophotometer, are prism or gratings. For more accuracy instruments, gratings are used, and hence cost of instrument is higher. In simple flame emission spectrophotometer, filters are used for the measurement, and due to use of filters as a monochromator, overall cost of instrument is low, and these low cost instruments are useful for routine analysis or simple analysis. And in the moderate price instruments, prism is used as a monochromator, means the accuracy, precision and the cost of instrument totally depends on the what type of monochromator used in flame emission spectrophotometer. Next component is detectors. There are different types of detectors used, and the main function of detector in flame emission spectrophotometer is to convert radiation energy into electrical signal, because in flame emission spectroscopy radiations are emitted by the flame, and that emitted radiations are measured, and that emitted radiations have good intensity, and that radiations can be easily converted into the electrical signal by using photosensitive detector. And in flame emission spectrophotometer, phototube is a very good detector that is used, and it gives very good results. In flame emission spectrophotometer, there is no need to use very high sensitivity detector such as photomultiplier tube, because in flame emission spectrophotometer or in spectroscopy, radiations are emitted and they have quite sufficient intensity for the measurement. So phototube is the best detector in flame emission spectrophotometer. Next component is amplifier and recorder. Amplifier is kept between detector and readout system. The main function of amplifier is to amplify the signal given by the detector. Many times, sensitivity of optical electrical system is insufficient. The current or voltage can be increased by introducing an amplifier between the detector and readout system. You will get an amplified signal, and the recording of amplified signal is very simple, it is very convenient, and recorder can easily record that signal in the form of digital form or in the form of the graphical form, and you will get the final result. So this is all about the instrumentation part of the flame emission spectroscopy or spectrophotometer. In the next video, we will discuss about the interferences in the flame emission spectroscopy. With this, we will stop here. Thank you very much.